guys, and welcome back to another great episode of Pardon Our Honesty. I'm Tiffany,
Hi, Megan.
and today we are talking about a myriad of things. We have no idea where we're going, so just join in with the ride, okay?
Yeah, we said we pretty much end up talking about parenting every week, I think,
Yes,
because
but it is really
it is challenging. We
very
just we
challenging.
just got off the phone with somebody and they have a 21-year-old
Mhm.
who lives at home. And the topic came up and asked, what's your opinion about the level of drinking that should be allowed in the house if we're not drinkers and they are 21, and
Yeah.
should it be monitored? Should it be, in a public space? Should it be? And it's like, You
It's
know,
hard.
it's hard because
They're of age, so they can buy it. If
mhm,
they were on their own, they definitely could have it wherever they wanted to in their
mhm,
own house, but they're living with you. But you are only providing them with shelter. They're taking care of everything else they need to take care of. So
yeah.
I don't
I think a compromise has to be
know,
made.
but how do you make that compromise? It's
Uh,
really hard.
it is.
Um, because like you said, they don't drink. They have reasons why they don't drink, and I can get that. But telling someone that's 21 years old, just because you live in my house, which I absolutely agree with, you can't drink, it might rub some feathers depending
Right.
on
Right. And that's
where
we both
he
said the
is.
same thing
Yeah.
to this person that, if they were living on their own, they could have a whole fridge of alcohol. And, I think part of the concern is this child sometimes drinks in the room by themselves a lot. And, it's all liquor. It's not a beer,
Yeah.
it's all liquor.
Mhm.
And so, one suggestion for me was like, you just have to have it in the kitchen where everybody can see it and nothing in
Yeah.
your room. And that way,
But I think we used to go to the beach every year for the longest time, probably ever since I was like 22. And I'm a preacher's kid, and my mom would definitely say to us, "You guys are not drinking in this rental property that we have. If y'all want to drink, you either go somewhere else." And typically, we would end up at my uncle's condo or wherever he was staying, and that's where we would drink. And so, out of respect for my mom, not that she was gonna beat us or she might say something to us, but we'd be like, "Okay, whatever, lady, we got it." But we just, out of respect, wouldn't do it in front of her. So I don't know if that will work for him or if that's a way, but we just we were just bad preacher kids. And so we were like, we're not gonna do it in front of her. So everybody, all of my brothers, my cousins, we would all go to my favorite
yeah.
uncle's house and we would be plastered. But she would talk about us the next day.
Yeah.
That other than that, I don't, it's just really hard to navigate it because like even with my own son, I said, "Okay, sir, you've been here, you need to get a job. It's time for us to kind of put you on. You need to pay rent and you need to respect the rules of the house." And immediately when I said, "No girls stay over overnight and no alcohol in the house," he bolted for the door.
Right.
So,
So I think, but I do agree, like what you said, my house, my rules. So if you are
mhm,
living here, whatever those may be, you may like, or maybe we need to sit down and talk about my house, my rules, and is there a compromise we can both agree to? But, but I think that it just reinforces, like even yesterday on Instagram, this is totally off subject, but on Instagram, there was a meme that I sent to all my kids and it has, Kevin Hart on it. He was going, "No, no, 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 no." And the words were, "When your kids go outside in their $20 Nike socks with no shoes on." And I was like, when I see things that are my life, I'm like, see, other people deal with this. It's not just me, or there wouldn't be a meme about it. So,
mhm,
like, I feel like, doesn't matter the age you have, it really does. Today, I was listening to the Christian channel on the way to the kids' soccer game,
mhm,
and they did, apparently, I want to Google it, was it Stanford? The big Ivy League school?
yeah,
Was it?
yeah,
Okay. So they did a study that kids that started with chores by the time they were 3 or 4 years
mhm,
old are more. It's an 80-year thing that they've followed, and it's held true every year for 82 years. Those children are more successful, are better with conflict resolution and something else. And I'm like, but what is the biggest battle most parents fight?
chores,
chores,
your
having
responsibilities,
responsibilities.
doing what you say you're supposed to do,
Yes.
or what you say you're gonna do and what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like yes, you do have to sit down and have that conversation of, hey, this is the rules for my home. And I do feel like a lot more young adults are going to be staying at home as rent has increased and wages are 40 hours at McDonald's is not going to have you a place to stay. So I think that's going to continue to increase. And how do we live through that?
Yeah.
But back, I would say 50 years ago, girls didn't leave the house
Until you were
until they
married.
got married. So
Mhm.
they were staying in the house until 20,
But you also gotta
22,
think back
23.
50 years. I mean, my mom tells me about when she was younger, the things that they took care of that house and they did this, they did that. I think every year since, kids get more spoiled
Mm,
and more rewards and more gadgets
or
and more
nothing.
high-end things, and they have to do nothing.
Nothing.
And then when you say, "I need you to go mow the lawn." "What? What? This is so much." Like, I mean, I just think from me, when I was a kid, every day we get home from school, we had a list of things we had to do first. It could be pull weeds, it could be wash dishes, it could be, I mean, we had a dishwasher. My mother did not let us use a dishwasher. Everything was by hand. It could have been whatever it was. But there wasn't a day we didn't have a responsibility. If our room was ever dirty, oh, don't ask to do
Uh-huh.
nothing. You're not doing anything. If our bathroom was dirty, like now you look at now, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty strict, but like when I post things on Facebook,
Mhm.
half the people say my kids don't have to do anything.
But why?
My kids are great. They have good grades. They're great kids. They don't have to do anything, which I guess if that works, but I still feel like there should be a sense of responsibility. And if they're not working and they're just, what's going to happen when they get out of high school and you're like, you need a job or
They're gonna
you
be
need to
like,
manage
what?
your own stuff. Like, wait, my mom was still making my lunches when I graduated. So
And how are
like,
you preparing them to be a life partner with somebody else?
that's
Because I don't want to be
that
your mom
though.
and I don't want to take care of you for the rest of your
That's
life.
what
No,
I tell
ma'am.
my boys. I'm like, y'all might think it's cute that these girls are keeping you in line, but when they get older, they're not going to want to be your mama.
No.
They want a guy who can also, I don't want to have to say take care of them, but that can take care of himself. They're not going to want to
Absolutely.
do this for the next 20 years, remind you everything that you have to do, remind you when you're supposed to be doing it. It's cute in the beginning, it is
Yeah.
not cute later.
Yeah.
So, but I just think every day we have a situation that comes up with the kids or people we know and their kids, and it's like, I really stick by people do not prepare you for adult children. When you're pregnant or you have a toddler, everybody wants to give advice.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
My kid didn't wet the bed until this, or my kid potty trained. Everybody seems to stop talking once your
Yes.
kids get 13.
Because you don't know what the hell to do.
But it's like, do you know how much help it would be? Like when people say something about their kid, I'm like, oh, it's normal. Like it's okay. It's, like don't feel like you're failing as a parent to a teenager. And then,
Mm.
then you meet the people with their kids in their 20s, 30s, and they're still
Sit at
struggling.
home.
Yeah. And you're like, it's such a hard phase. And then add, like you said, if you've had a trauma
Yeah.
or you've had crap you
Yep.
haven't fully dealt with, because you know what, back then we didn't really deal with
No.
anything. Now your kids are still challenging you at 21, 23, 30. Like, at what point?
I don't know. So back to the young man, I would say, okay, first I would ask, is this an addiction? Are you dealing with something that I don't know that you're dealing with? Okay. And then if it's an addiction, okay, how do you help somebody through an addiction? Because I haven't learned that yet till this day. It sucks and it's very hard. Until they want to address it or do something about it, you're just beating your head up against a brick wall,
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree. And
So
they think all kids in some way
have some addiction.
have an addiction. I agree to that 100%, to their phone, to whatever.
Yes.
But I think they all, like this person, we said, did they have any trauma in their life? And
Mhm.
she was like, no, but they think so.
And that matters.
But their perspective, right? And I'm like, I think every kid probably thinks something was traumatic, even
Mhm,
in our interpretation, it
mhm,
wasn't or whatever.
mhm.
So I think that and what's affected them, even like today, when you read that
I
thing that Ava
did.
posted?
I was absolutely fabulous.
When she called me and read it to me, I was bawling,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping she'll let me share it. But one of my daughters, her mother, my stepdaughter, but I call her my daughter. Her
That's your
mother has
daughter.
yes, but just for
Yeah.
clarification, they're like, "What are you talking about? One of your" okay. When I say her mother, ha suffers from addiction, and Ava's learned to deal with it over years of counseling and whatever, but now she's learned to write it out. And giving her a space that she's can share it and talk about it. I think that's the thing. Like
Mhm.
when you asked if you talk to him about it, is he going to be upset? Like, are you going to get upset? I think that's the thing. If she were to ever open up to us and we're like, we don't want to hear about it, don't talk about that, get over it,
Yeah.
they would shut down.
Yes.
So I think when you go to those kids, it's like this hard balance because you're still parenting them, right?
Yeah.
Like he's 21, but she's still obviously parenting him. But you've got to keep the door open to where even you're thinking it, you don't say it
Yeah.
so that they'll communicate it
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
And that's a very hard
Absolutely.
balance.
It is. I'm learning now as I've gotten older because I was that staunch parent that it's my way or the highway. I don't give 2 cents about what you think, how you feel, what I said. That's what I meant. But now I'm learning, okay, that wasn't necessarily the best way. And they're adults. And how would I want to be treated as an adult? I get to make my own decisions. I'm in my own place. I don't want someone else telling me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, or I would have stayed at home. And I do feel like one thing that's different from our generation is we were ready to go for the door at 18. These kids now, okay, they're not kids,
Mm,
but they
the
adult
adult.
age
Yeah.
kids are sticking around for the long haul.
Even though they're miserable at home, they don't want to hear what you got to
Yeah.
say and they don't want your rules, but they ain't leaving.
No, they're not leaving.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you do with that. So for me, I just learned to, okay, are you sharing with me for my advice or for me to just listen? And once they tell me what that answer is, then I can formulate, okay, this is what I'm going to say back to them and
Hmm.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Because if they just want me to listen, okay, I listen.
Hmm.
And I don't have an opinion. I
Yeah.
can't tell you what to do because that's not what you asked me for. But if you want my opinion, I'm going to say, as an adult person who's already walked in your shoes, this is what I would recommend you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell like the boys don't really talk to me yet about a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
but hopefully one day I'll get there.
Yeah.
The girls do, and I will say, you're not going to get in trouble if you don't agree with me and take your own
Yeah.
route. I'm not going to like give you the third degree, but I do think that your idea is stupid. I don't agree with it.
Hmm.
I think you're going to get hurt. I think something can happen, but this is just my perspective.
Yeah.
You feel okay with it, you be okay with it,
Yeah.
so but it's hard, like, did I talk about this last time about one of my kids the guy walking her to the no, I talked to part one of
No.
my kids says, "Oh, this guy walked me back from a party, from a frat party
Mhm.
to my room." It's like a 20-minute walk by themselves. And I'm trying to be like, not lose my shit instantly. Then she kinda says and I said, "What kind of friends let you leave a frat party with a dude you barely know well, he was very nice and hanging out with us." I said, "Do you think the guy who's gonna attack you is gonna be mean to you
No.
and expect you to
Not
leave with him?"
initially. Not
I mean,
initially.
no. And then she later says, "Well, we talked on Snapchat a few days before I met him. That's supposed to make me feel better?" I was like, "Girl, you should never be at a party situation, leave by yourself with some dude you do not know. You don't even know his name on Snapchat was real. Like, you don't really know."
Yes. That's true.
Because think about our fake
Yes, because I was
Snapchats.
like,
We got fake Snapchat. And people think they're really talking to this person.
yeah.
And that happened for a reason. But we don't do it just to do it. But
No.
but you know what I'm saying? People
Yes.
thought it was a real person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you let him walk. Well, he was very nice. He walked me out. I said, she goes, "Well, I'm not dead." I said, "You're right. You're not dead this time. But could you please be smarter next time?" I said, "You're not in trouble. Don't not tell me things
Yeah.
because you don't like my reaction, but we're friends. And if you're my friend, I'm going to tell you, you're
That's
also
not
my
a good
kid."
idea.
Like, that is not a good idea. I mean, of course, I think that's the other thing. They're all invincible. In their brains, I don't think they realize, oh, if I have a couple drinks and drive home, it won't be a big deal. Or if I just go with this guy, he's so nice. What would ever happen? Like, I think they just don't have the life experience to
Yep.
realize
And
that.
I think that situation is sad. I feel like it's a double-edged sword. Because she's a young woman, you are teaching and training her because you have to be aware of the crazy bad people that
Mhm.
are out there that could do some messed up stuff
Then
to
I'm
her.
probably also making her
But
paranoid.
yeah, but it's sad that we have to teach her to
Mhm.
do that because why shouldn't I be able to trust this person is in college, they're here to do the right thing and they're not going to try to do anything bad to me. So I hate that, but I understand why you have to do it. And it's been for years and years and years and years that we've had to teach girls to be aware.
Mm.
But she is an adult.
And I had this conversation with Nick a lot. You know, we'll say something, what was it? And I'm like, "You don't understand what it's like to be a female.
Yeah.
You don't worry about somebody taking advantage of you in a freaking parking lot or being stronger than you and doing things to you.
Mhm.
You have no idea." When we talk about like safety, sometimes it's so funny because he'll be like, "Well, yeah, if she doesn't lock her door, she could get something stolen." I'm like, "Something stolen? She could get freaking raped or murdered in the middle of the night. Something fucking stolen. Who cares?" But
Yeah.
he's not thinking, like a female,
Yeah.
and I don't think, like you said, she's an adult. She
Mhm.
lives out at school and she can make whatever choices she
Mhm.
wants. But as a parent, you're just like, I couldn't imagine getting that call and something happening to her and it could have been prevented. And it's just like, it's such you think once your kids leave, it's magical, but it's worse, I think, because
I
you
think it is.
you
It's
worry
sad.
more because they are independent and you
Yeah.
don't have a say,
Yeah.
and now you're just pray all the time. Like, the other night, she called me at, like, 11 something, and, when that phone rings late, it makes me nervous instantly,
Mm.
and then it's something like, "Hey, just want to tell you this funny story," and I'm like, "Ugh,
That's
I love
cute. I
you," but
love that.
like
You have that anxiety. Oh,
yeah,
why is she calling me at
and
11
now I
o'clock at
know why
night?
my mom, when I lived at home, would never go to sleep until we got home.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed. I thought it was because she didn't trust I'd be home on time. Like, we
Mm.
didn't have Ring doorbells and all that back
Mhm.
then.
Mhm.
So I just thought she didn't trust me, but
Mhm.
now I get it. She couldn't sleep
Yeah.
until we
No,
got
I
home.
can't. I mean, but I do realize that okay, some of the stuff that we are paranoid about as parents is because we already have the life experience, so we know
Mhm,
how things go.
mhm.
So when my daughters are going out on dates, okay, let me remind you of all the things that girls don't do on the first date, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Mom, this is like 21st. I don't
I
care.
don't care.
Girls don't do all these things on the first date. We just want to." Go
Yeah.
and have a good time and make sure you get home safe because, there are crazy people out there, but boys also, or men also get bad stuff happening to them. Not going
Yes.
to negate that, but more 9 times out of 10 is happening to
Yeah.
women. And you see it in the news every single day, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And I just realized the other day, one of the boys parks kind of far away from work to get to their car. And I didn't realize it. But I was driving home the other day and I saw where he parked. And I thought, I have never once told him, be careful going to your car at night when you get off work.
Yeah.
So I immediately texted him once I saw where he parked. And I was like, hey, you park really far. You need to pay attention in the lot. Don't be on your phone. Get to your car, lock the door, da da da. And then he was like, I'll just move my car closer. Like, I think he was annoyed with me,
Yes.
but I was like, he needs to be safe
Yeah.
too. He's
Yeah.
a young kid walking through this parking lot at 10,
Mhm.
11 at night. He'd be an easy target.
Of course.
But it's like they take it as you're annoying, and I get that. I mean, I
We
guess
can
that's
be
our
annoying, and
yeah.
that's okay. And then, like you said, it's because we've already had those life experiences that they're just thinking, I'm invincible.
Yeah.
Nothing ever's going to happen to me. I got this. Why are they so worried? Go
Yeah.
sit down. And I said that to my parents. Like, what are you worried about me
Mhm.
for? Just leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered with you. Go away. But I do see now why. I
Yeah.
do see now why. So communication,
Yeah, my dad
open
used to always tell
communication.
me, if there's just a train parked, you do not stop your car. You either just keep turning around and making loops, or you keep enough room to maneuver out if you have to, and always look in the back seat of your car before you get in. I used to get so annoyed, and now I catch myself all the time saying that to the girls.
Yeah.
Don't stop at a train track, not super close, not at
Yeah.
night, keep
Yeah.
room or drive around. And I'm like, oh my.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I never had anybody tell me about the train track, but I guess if somebody came up to your car and you weren't prepared and
Hmm.
you don't
Yeah.
have the automatic lock on and they just snatched
Hmm.
your car open, what are you
Hmm.
gonna do?
Right.
I never thought about
It
that.
was always we were always told, especially the girls, I don't think they told this to my brother ever, but the girls, as you approach your car, do not walk closely to your car, walk far away and look to see if anybody's under it.
Oh,
Then, as you approach your car, look to the back seat first to make sure there's nobody in the back seat. And then lock your doors because we didn't have automatic lock.
Mhm.
Lock your doors as soon
Mhm.
as you get in.
Mhm.
That's your first, 3 things. And so that was always ingrained. I mean, it annoyed me because every time we left, it was the same thing.
Oh, wow. Every
Walk,
time you
walk
left.
towards, not at, and look in the back seat. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so annoying. Nothing's gonna happen. And now I do that all the time to the kids, all the time. Check your
And
back
nothing
seat.
ever
Pay
happened
attention.
to you. That's the funny
Yeah.
thing, that we're passing on this information that, okay, some of this never happened to us, but yeah.
But like, is it illegal or not that you can't have the interior light in your car? Is that a lie?
I think you're not supposed to have it
Because
on.
I thought that was like a meme or something that I saw that was a lie all of our lives as children because our parents didn't want the light on. And I swear I thought it was true. So I told my kids.
No.
And now I'm not. I think it's not true.
No.
I think it's not true. I think parents just used to say,
That's funny because I really don't know.
and I repeated that. I'm pretty sure I've
I
repeated
never
that.
I never said it, but I felt like it was an annoyance if somebody did turn the light on and
Mhm.
I'm driving
Yeah.
down the road, like, you blinding me. So I don't know.
It's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else is going on in the world?
I mean, not too much. We got kids stuff and getting through that. And then we're taking a vacation for
That is
Christmas.
so hilarious.
And Tiffany and Edward are coming too.
I love going on vacation with your kids because I love them so much. They remind me so much of myself. And I think people always say when you become an empty nester, you're just going to be in heaven. And I'm an empty nester with a dog, and it's part of my life is heaven. The other part is like, I miss all of that. I miss, like, right now, I will probably be putting my Christmas tree up with my kids.
Yeah.
But it's just gonna be me because Ed is like, it's just November 1st. Why are you
He
putting
doesn't
up
want
the
to put one
tree?
up at all. Either does Nick because we're going on vacation for Christmas. And I'm like,
And I'm like, if my kids were here, they would be so excited. Be like, yes, Mom, let's do it. So
Yeah.
I feel the nostalgia comes back, and it just makes me feel loved and warm to be around them and be silly. And I
well, and I
I
feel
love
like
it.
when you have kids on the vacation with you too, you have to do things geared towards kids too, so they're not bored. And I think that makes it fun because it's
Yes.
maybe not something like every trip we find a zoo. And it's like, that's probably not something me and Nick would choose to do by
No,
ourselves.
no.
You know what I mean? But like, well, even when we went to London, we did the
We
zoo.
did.
And it was great.
It
But,
was.
I feel like they kind of bring youth to the trip
Yeah.
where, otherwise we
Not
might just
stuffy
be.
and boring, and
Yeah.
oh, we just went to do this, or you're fighting because you're not gonna fight in
But
front of the kids. I
let me
hope.
tell you, our family fights all the time. Let's just
Me
keep
and
it
Ed
real.
would not fight in front of the kids. 'Cause
No, but
they're
you can
weirdos.
see on our face. But we fight all. Me and Nick don't fight. Just us and the kids fight. But, oh my gosh. So I have not been. The last time I went skiing, I think Madison was 4. Okay,
Wow.
and it was Boone. Like,
Okay, yeah, that's terrible.
So,
skiing.
but regardless, so I'm looking for places in our or Vermont or Canada
Yeah.
to ski. Holy shit, is it expensive?
I could have told you that. I told you that when we were thinking about it. That's why when you brought it up, I was like, oh,
It's
no.
like $100 a
Yes.
person for a lift ticket.
Yes.
To rent all the gear is like
Yes.
150 a person.
Yes.
And then if you rent the clothes,
That's
if you
another
want the
cost.
pants is
Mhm.
50, the jacket is
Mhm.
50. So that could be another 100. And I was like, okay, when we go do this, these little children, we're staying there all day. We're going to take a break if we need to take a break. Because a lot of them have like a little village you can go walk around in and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
So we'll go do that.
Share the
But
lodge.
we're Donnie, come here. But we're getting our money's worth.
Yes.
Like we are getting our money's worth. And this is why we have a big family, so
Yes.
I'm not dogging anybody. But this is why having big families, you have a big family,
Yes, I do.
is so expensive that I can see why people don't get a lot of opportunities to do a lot of
Mhm.
cool stuff because it is freaking
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. So we went for the first time, probably 2011 or 12. I had this bright idea, kind of like you're doing. I'm going to take all the kids and we're going to go skiing
'cause they
in
all-
Colorado.
Oh,
And
you went way out.
yes, but we lived in Arizona,
Oh,
so it was
okay,
just
okay.
straight. I think it was about 5 hours. And like you said, I bought everybody snow gear. I rented no, we stayed in a hotel, and then we did a horse sleigh ride, and we did 3 days at the slopes because the kids had ski school for 3 days. But that's something they talk about even today. But it was very expensive, and I felt like they did not appreciate it until I hear them talk about it
Now.
now in
Right.
their 20s,
Right.
their mid
Well,
20s and
I
30s.
looked up the lessons for snowboarding because they wanna do snowboarding. So there's a 3-hour class.
Yeah.
It's $200.
Yes.
I said, "They'll figure it out."
No, you need to have the
No,
lessons.
they'll figure it out. They're
No.
very smart children. They'll figure it out.
No, because you
Listen,
can
2
break
of 'em
something.
2 of 'em are skateboarders. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
I don't know. So yeah, but I like skiing. That's one of those things. I don't know why I thought about doing it, but of course, it's always been a sport that, for me, I'd like to watch in the Olympics, and I think I was just
Yeah.
fascinated with it. But then for me, I was like, Black people don't do that. Why are you taking these little kids skiing? But in my mind, it was like, okay, they have exposure. They have something they can bridge the gap if they need to and talk about with somebody that's not just like them. So
Right. Yeah.
I loved it.
I think experiences I shared a thing on Facebook today. It said, "Why does our generation travel and do all this stuff so much?"
I saw
And
that.
it's because, the older generations worked. I mean, my dad worked till he literally died. Like, he retired, went back to work because he got bored, and then he died. Like,
Hmm.
I don't wanna do that.
No.
Like, I don't wanna leave. We met Mr. Peter yesterday.
Yeah.
He said, "Listen, I'm spending all my money. I'm
I leaving
spending it, and
nobody
so I'm
nothing.
leaving him a house."
Right?
And I was like, "You know what?" And Nick's like, "It's not that I don't wanna leave him anything, but you're right. We have to live while
Mhm.
we're alive." And I'm like,
And then when you
"Yeah,
retire at 60, 65, you don't wanna be bothered with traveling and getting I don't think I will ski at 65.
no.
I'm 50 now. I think I'll ski about another
I won't
5
even
or
do it.
6 years.
I won't even do
But
it now." Like, I'm afraid if I break something, getting around, recovering, working, I can't handle the stress of that. I'll tube. I'm gonna go tubing. I'm not snowboarding,
so
and I'm
let me
not.
see. I think I I fall at least once every time we go skiing, and we go once a year. I wish we went more often, but I don't know why we don't, because I really enjoy it. I enjoy it when they have runs that are kind of decrease gradually and slowly, and you could just for real ski. But the one we go to is in Gatlinburg. That's like straight down. But I have kind of over the years mastered that run, but I won't go up further. And that's when I fail. I did this last time we went, go up to the next run. It wasn't terrible, but it was not fun. And I think I spent about 15 minutes trying to get up off the ground because I
Right?
just couldn't figure out, okay, because I like to try to stand up still in the skis. And I was like, no, Jesus, this ain't gonna work. And I think I walked down that first hill because I was like, I ain't doing it.
Well, last time I went, I remember they tell you to sit down if you think you're gonna fall. Like, don't let your body roll. Like, just sit. Like,
I never knew that.
yeah. So they say if you think well, they did then. Maybe it's changed. This was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But said sit. Like, if you're skiing and you think you're gonna lose it, you get scared. Just sit and go down.
Hmm.
I kept sitting because I was like starting to go fast. And I was like, no, sit. And then I had to figure out how to get up. But now I couldn't even. I might try
You
snowboarding one
should.
time just so the
Oh,
kids would get off
I'm
my
no, I'm
butt.
not.
But Madison, we did the family chat, and I said, "Do you guys care if it's Vermont or Canada where we ski or snow tube or whatever?" And Madison's like, "Whichever one has the best lounge."
Right, because
Lodge.
I am going to
Yeah.
go in the lodge. So the best one I've ever been to was in Colorado. I've never been to a nicer one. Maybe Korea, because we did ski in Korea. But there's a difference between skiing on the East Coast and the West Coast, because here
Yeah.
on the East Coast, the temperatures fluctuate so much it creates ice under the
Yeah.
fresh snow that they make. But over in the West, it's
It's
just
real snow.
powder, beautifulness.
That's
if
what
I
I
could
was
go back.
reading. It said Vermont has pretty good snow for that, but the closer you go east, the worse it gets
Yes,
because of, like
yes,
you said, ice and just not enough snow coverage.
yes. But I'm
But
excited. I'm excited to do all the things. I've never been to Vermont, never been to Maine. Always wanted to go to Maine to eat a lobster. I'm excited because it's just going to be a different experience, and the kids, I'll get to see their eyes light up.
Mhm.
That's something I miss about being with my kids because they grown and gone. But I'm just excited.
I think it will be.
And I appreciate that y'all let us go.
We love, I mean, that's like the first thing when I said, we're taking a trip. Are Tiffany and Edward going too? I'm like, if they want to, I mean, we'll ask them, of
That is
course,
so
but
weird. I love my
it's,
babies. They are so
I think they'd
sweet.
like have a heart attack if you guys said no. Like,
You think so?
we just have to go with us. Yes, we
That
just
would
have
be
to go with
funny.
us.
That would be funny, but I'm excited. Christmas is it's gonna be different, and I
Yeah.
love Christmas. That's my favorite holiday, and so getting
I,
to see whatever they do up there for
yeah.
Christmas, I'm
I
just
love Christmas,
big
and
kid.
I went home every year of my life until a few years ago. We had some family drama, and I said, why am I doing this to myself, to my kids?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we start doing stuff for them? When they get older, they're going to have to choose between families and
Yes.
houses. And I don't want
Yes.
it to feel like this is the tradition they have to do. And when they get older, they're not going to want to go to my mom's house. They're going to want to
No.
be with us or have
Mhm.
us come to them. So
Mhm.
if we just start traveling now, last year we did Disney, this year we're doing this. So, I do value Christmas and the
Mhm.
hot, like, I don't want to be doing I want us to chill on Christmas Day and
Mhm.
celebrate Christmas.
Mhm.
I don't travel on that day per se, but why does it matter where you're at?
I do feel like
Especially because, like, all your
holidays.
kids aren't gonna come home. So it's just gonna be us. So
Yeah.
why does it matter if we're here or there? And probably with you guys anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right. Because we would just been sitting in the house. We open up our 1 or 2 little gifts that are under the tree and
yeah, and it
like,
just feels like
"Okay,
a Saturday.
yeah, it's just,
Okay.
that's Christmas, okay," but,
Yeah.
I will say that a lot of years, like you're saying, especially people who don't live at home or are in the military, that is a very stressful thing to try to decide, whose house are we going to for
Mhm.
Thanksgiving? Whose house are we
Mhm.
going to for Christmas? And what if we're overseas and we can't make the sacrifice to go back home or get to see our family? What I would say to people is make the sacrifice to go visit them because it is very expensive. I know shutdown is going on and I don't have a whole bunch of details about it. It doesn't affect me, fortunately. But I do realize that some of those people who had to figure out how they was going to pay their rent because they didn't get paid
Mhm.
ain't gonna have money to figure out how to go home. So be mindful of that. Help somebody out if you can and be flexible to okay, if they can't come, then you go to them or we just
Yeah.
don't get to see each other.
'Cause
That's
that's
really
well,
hard.
that's what I told Nick. I said, "In reality, if all of our children came back into our lives and stayed in our lives, so that's 8 total.
Hmm.
If all of them liked us again and we could all whatever, and they all have kids, there's no way that we would be able to have a tradition at home
Why not?
because they're all over. We'd have to, you know what I mean?
I
Between
mean, I see what you're saying.
we'd have to start learning to be very flexible of
Hmm.
seeing this
Yeah.
one, seeing
Yep.
this one, seeing this one,
Yep.
seeing this one. So, I think, and that's what I wish my mom would, she's retired, could come here more. It makes it easier
Yep.
because of my work and the dog, like my life here. But, me and Nikki, my other sister, try to go home and see her every couple months. Like we're going in a couple weeks. But
Nice.
I do
Nice.
think if you have the flexibility to
Yeah.
go, you should go
Yeah.
instead of like,
And I think I'm learning that this year that okay, when I was in the military, I used to always try to, okay, God, I got to figure out how to go visit. I got to
see
figure out how to see
everybody.
everybody. But I'm of the mindset, if you don't come visit me, I ain't breaking my neck to go visit you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It
It can
has
work
to be
both
2
ways. Yeah,
ways
it
or
can work
even
both
meet in the
ways.
middle. Let's meet
Yeah.
somewhere and
Yeah.
spend the day together or
Yeah.
something. But yeah.
So I mean,
And it's just so expensive. Then you have the holiday costs because
yeah.
everybody feels like they got to buy everything.
Yep.
And then you have travel
Yep.
costs. I mean, it's not cheap for
No.
anybody. I have clients that are 6-figure income and they live check to check. So like this shutdown is stressing them out because they're like, we don't have a savings for 2 months of this. And they have great jobs, but they don't
Yeah.
have savings. And now
Yeah.
people want them to travel, do this, do that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
No.
difficult.
Yes. So help somebody out if you can this holiday season. All right, Megan.
Okay, before we end, Tiffany is our ambassador. So let's call is this the right word?
I am the local campaign
Okay,
organizer.
that sounds way better. For Toys for Tots.
Yes.
So wherever you're at, please volunteer Toys for
Yes.
Tots, Angel Tree. just help donate toys, do something because it goes to children that really want the experience of
Yeah.
Christmas and may not get it otherwise. So if you can pick up one toy, two toys, go volunteer some time in your local Toys for Tots, please go look them up and get involved. It's very rewarding. And once you start, you'll be hooked.
You will be. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. We did the parade this past weekend, and um it's always fascinating to me to see we're just passing out a little piece of candy or a pen, and the kids' eyes just light up so big. And to me, that's the reason behind just doing Toys for Tots, period, is just to see or to know. Maybe I don't get to see. Sometimes you get to see the
Yeah.
parents really
You feel so much relief.
grateful, yes,
Yeah.
that they got something for their kids, but just to know that this kid is not gonna feel like they were forgotten about, especially if they still believe in Santa on Christmas Day and they go
Yeah.
to the tree and there's nothing there. So
I agree.
even if you don't help out with Toys for Tots, if you know a little family could use some help, help them out. All
Yeah.
right, guys. All
Yeah.
right, till next time, guys. Leave us some comments down below. Tell us what you think of parenting adult children, as we always talk about. And what are your ideas and what are you going to do this holiday season to help somebody out? Until next time, bye, guys.
Bye.